Hello, good morning. Welcome to Better Life. I'm Dr. Ayu Akishete, and today I want to continue with transform your thinking. Just that right now, I want to deal with some practical areas. Like I said, this area is not is spiritual, but it's not the very spiritual side now. I want to deal today with the problem with the majority. The problem with the majority. Let me start from Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28. Please, I want you to follow me very carefully this morning. Matthew 5 and verse 28. Jesus said, "But I say unto you, that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after her in his heart has committed adultery with her already in his heart." Whosoever looks on a woman lusting after her has committed adultery in his heart already. My focus this morning is not the adultery. My focus this morning, number one, is that things happen in the mind that may not happen physically. And whatever happens in the mind has actually happened. Summarily, I mean thoughts are events. Thoughts are events. Thoughts are events. If it has happened in your heart, it has happened already. If it has happened in your heart, it has happened already. Whether it eventually happened physically or not, it has happened. And let me tell you sincerely, if you can make something happen regularly in your heart, it will happen physically. Thoughts are events, and they can be so powerful that the moment you allow them in your heart over and again, they are going to find expression physically. They will happen physically. Most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they are wondering why it shows up over and again in their lives. I want to explain that again. Most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they are wondering why it is happening. If you are thinking it, you are giving it permission in your physical life. If you are thinking it, if you are giving your mind to something, you are permitting the thing to exist in your physical life. They don't want it, but they are thinking it, and they are not happy it is happening to them. That's the problem. That's why you have to transform your thinking. Look, thinking is a major business. Thinking is a major business. If you want to live well, if you want to lead the kind of life you desire to live, you have to transform your thinking. Your thinking is your power. Anything, any content you permit in your heart, in your thought, you have given it permission in your physical life. There's something called I don't want it epidemic. I don't want it epidemic. Now, people tend to think about things they don't want, and then they pray for what they want. They think about what they don't want, and then they pray for what they want. Now, the problem we have as maybe people who are ignorant is that we don't know that prayer is not only what we say with our mouth. What you think with your heart is also prayer, because in the spirit, you are making things happen. In the spirit, you are calling for help to bring what you are thinking to pass. So ultimately, your thoughts and your prayers, they are supposed to be one. When they are not one, there will be chaos. When they are not one, your thought will happen over and above your prayer. What you are thinking is the real prayer. The real prayer. Don't forget what the Bible told us. Colossians 3:20. God is able to do exceeding abundantly above what you ask or think. God is able to do exceeding abundantly above what you ask or think. Ask is prayer. Think is also prayer. When the two go riot, you are going to have a problem, because your life is going to mirror what you are thinking. Your prayer is as powerful as your thought. When your prayer goes against your thought, your prayer will become powerless. Naturally, prayers are supposed to be born from your thought. Jesus said, whatsoever you desire when you pray, whatsoever you desire when you pray, believe you have received them and you will have them. So basically, the prayer should start from your thought. Prayer should start from the place of thinking. So that when you get up or you get on your knees or you walk around, as the case may be, in the place of prayer, the prayer will gain power because it was brewing in your heart all the while. All the while. When you begin to verbalize the prayer, it will gain power because it began in the heart. Not just mouthy, not just something verbalized, but something from the heart. Let me say one more time. People think about what they don't like, and then they pray about what they like, and they wonder why what they don't like is what is happening to them. It's an epidemic in our generation. People don't realize that their mind is their power, that their mind is their production center, that their mind is God's factory that resides within them. Your mind is a factory. Anything you are thinking in your mind, you are producing for your life. Anything you are thinking in your mind, you are producing it for your life. Anything you are thinking in your mind, you are producing it in your life. If you don't want it in your life, then don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Now, one of the challenge that many of us have is that we find it difficult to think about the things we want. It is these things we don't want that you are hearing from the news, that you are seeing everywhere in movies, in events, in literatures. I don't want to be poor. There's poverty everywhere. Oh, there's poverty everywhere. People cannot even feed themselves. Hey, there is evil everywhere. That's what you are thinking. Now, you do not realize that business that you are doing right now, you are doing it against yourself. There is poverty everywhere, but you need to see riches. See riches. No matter how poor Nigeria becomes, I am going to be comfortable. I am going to be rich. Now, I may not be comfortable right now. I may not be rich right now, but I refuse to allow my mind to produce what I don't like. I refuse to lend the factory of my heart to that devil. I refuse to lend it to the enemy. I refuse to lend it to what I don't want. Look, all of us are under pressure. Serious pressure. There is bombardment from everywhere for us to use our mind against ourselves. But unfortunately, we are not aware. Every time you watch the news, now it's not their fault, they are doing their job. The bad news you hear, the devil wants to use those bad news to bombard your mind so that you start thinking about the negative part of it. You want to leave your house to your office, just 15 minutes drive, you are thinking about kidnapping. You are smelling it already. Yeah. You should be pragmatic. There are journeys you can cancel, particularly when you are hearing rumors in some areas. You can cancel some journeys. But there are some journeys you cannot cancel. You have to go to work. So think that you are exempted. Somebody will say, is that spirituality? That is spirituality. That is spirituality. The ability to control what is going on in your heart. The ability to decide the content of your thought. I cannot be kidnapped. I won't go where they are kidnapping people, but places I need to go, I will go there, I will pray, and in my heart, I will think that I am above kidnapping. I cannot be kidnapped. I won't think evil and then pray for good. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Look, we need to be deliberate, and we need to look. This is where the real battle is. Somebody wrote a book. He said, the battlefield of the mind. That is where the real battles take place. And every one of us, we must understand that the devil wants to bombard your mind with bad content. He wants to bombard your mind with negative outcomes so that your mind can pick on these things and begin to work on them and ultimately produce bad events for your life, produce bad outcomes for your life. Your mind is a factory. Your mind is a factory. Your mind is a factory. I know you have had 3 or 4 miscarriages. You don't worry. Let the thought in your mind, the predominant thought, be thought of pregnancy, thought of delivery, thought of becoming a mother, thought of fruitfulness. Anytime the thought of will I miscarry again, anytime that question crosses your mind, delete it. Become a murderer of bad thoughts. Become a murderer of evil thoughts. Don't let it settle. Don't let it get planted. The same way a woman meets a man and conceives a baby, that's the same way we collide with news, we collide with events, we collide with sins, we collide with literatures, and then they sow the seed of evil into our heart, into our mind. And then when you don't abort it, when you don't destroy that seed, it will begin to germinate. You will conceive evil. That's how evil comes. When you conceive evil, you have killed yourself. Basically, you would have killed yourself. So it's an ongoing battle that you have to fight from day to day, day to day, day to day. I wish I can get this message into the hands of every human being, because whether you love God or hate God, your mind is God's gift to you. Your mind is God's gift to you. And for the majority, they are using it every day against themselves. Against themselves. They are using it every day against themselves. Now, I want you to build a theory for yourself. A theory of, if I don't want it, I will not think about it. If I don't want it to happen in my life, I will not think about it in my heart. And then you have to make up your mind. What do I really want? What do I really want? You know, every day I see young men and young ladies who are very poor traveling out. At least I've spoken to some of them, and I discovered that some of them are very poor and they end up traveling. If you know what they went through to travel, if one had called me before and asked me, Pastor, help me raise 2 to 3 persons that can support me. One of them, I told him, I saw you last 6 years ago. How can I recommend you? I'm sorry, I love you, but I don't know you again. 6 years ago, you are just surfacing, asking me to raise sponsors for you. It's difficult. In a matter of 8 weeks, the guy was abroad. Look, when something is dominant in your thought, it will compel and attract the right people to help you bring it to pass. My, oh my. Thoughts are powerful. Thoughts are events. Don't joke with them. Don't play with them. Get serious with them. Now, one of the things I have noticed about these guys is that when they enter a place, what they are thinking is, there should be somebody here who can help me. Even if it's business they went there to do. This predominant thought of, I am going to get helping hands. I am going to get sponsors. Somebody has to give me the account to use. Somebody has to do this for me. I have to get somebody. I have to get somebody. That's what is in their heart. They will begin to smell like somebody they should help. Some people are going to turn them down, but ultimately they are going to get somebody who will help them. And then before you know what is happening, this same guy who cannot raise 1 million for business in Nigeria, he has raised 4 million to travel out. The same guy. What changed? Thought. If he can maintain the same thought that he poured on traveling out, if he can pour the same thought on raising money for business, he will raise the money here. Yeah. Now, it has not become a strong desire. That's why the thought cannot really ponder on it. I'm going to stop here for today. Do you need to talk to somebody? You need someone to pray for you? We're always here for you. The number to call is 070-5666-7686. One more time, 070-5666-7686. Just to let you know I love you and I'm praying for you. God bless you. See you tomorrow.